What's up? My name is Justin, and I am with Good Kids Trading. If you aren't familiar with Good Kids Trading, we are a trading group who focuses on making money in the stock market. We're not focused on politics. We're not focused on religion, all of those controversial topics that divide people. Today, I want to talk about 10 charts that I'm looking at. I believe in making trading simple and passive. Moving averages are one of my favorite technical indicators. I want to start off with Etsy. If you look at Etsy, we have a close above the 100 weekly. I am on the weekly chart in TradingView. These purple thin lines are weekly support and resistance. So you can kind of see here as we expand out, I leave these purple lines on and we can see back in 2019, this area that I have on today's chart is showing there is some resistance here. I love to see a stock that closes above the weekly average very strongly, just like Etsy's doing. Let's set up a trade. If I were to take this trade on Etsy, this would be my setup. I'm looking for about 1.2, 1.3 of my risk unit. So I would set up a trade just like this, got to stop at the 10. Yes, I know that Etsy is probably going to reach some resistance right here at 71.94. I would use that as my first target, but I don't see a lot that's holding Etsy back from breaking out. We have a little while until earnings. We hop over to the daily chart. We see, yes, we are overextended on RSI. That is why I'm looking for a breakout to the upside. I think Etsy looks like a really good trade. Airlines are also looking pretty cute. I pointed out Southwest mainly because we got to close above the weekly 200. This red line on my chart is the weekly 200. I like this hammer off of the 200, and I like how the top of the hammer is above it. So I am going to look for a breakout in Southwest using pretty much the exact same setup we had before, where my stop is around the 10. If it's going to bounce, it should bounce off the 10. That's where it's been bouncing off for the last couple of months. I think this looks like a really nice trade. I would move it a little bit higher. Yes, I know there is some resistance here, but if you want to play the airlines, I think Southwest looks pretty good. Advanced auto parts, can we get a close above the blue line, which is the weekly 100? If we can, I would play this. We have a dividend coming up on July the 11th. And that's a little while away, so we might be out of this trade before then, but I think advanced auto parts above the blue line, stop at the 10, move it up to like a 1.2, 1.3. It's your choice. I think this trade looks pretty good. I know it's been trading sideways. I think we could actually see a little bit of a breakout here in advanced auto parts. Could it actually hit the purple line? Do you think you could actually get almost 2 on your risk to reward units? It's very possible. Dominion Energy, D. Listen, guys, I've been buying some calls on this. I know it's not math-based trading, but I like to buy calls when this hits the red line. Do you see this red line, the weekly 200, has been resistance, 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 resistance. We finally are starting to see the resistance turning into support. Can we get a breakout on Dominion Energy? I'm thinking we might, and I am going to be looking to buy just a couple calls and absolute zero play. You know, when you buy calls, normally they go to zero anyways, but you're only out for the amount of the debit of the call. So if we can get some cheap calls here and Dominion Energy, maybe buy those 55 calls, see it get a little bit of a pop around 59 or 60, that would be great. That would be a huge return on a little bit of risk. I like to see this chopping sideways. I love how we have started to see the resistance turn into support. I'm looking for a quick breakout on Dominion Energy. Pinterest. I don't know anyone who uses Pinterest, but I like the chart. We had a dip. Everything was dipping. We got a really solid close above the 100 weekly moving average. There are two ways to play this. When I see a big candle like this, a lot of times I will look for a limit buy off of the blue line. I keep it pretty simple. Where's my stop? At the 10. This red line is the 10 EMA. I'm looking for a quick limit buy off of this trade. I'm going to move it down to like a 1.2, 1.2 and a half. Just look for a nice little limit buy on Pinterest for a quick breakout. You guys know I love dividend stocks. The most passive income I've ever seen in my life. I've tried all the side hustles. Dividend stocks are the most passive income there is. This is clear, secure. Yeah, I know it's trading sideways, but it's paying a dividend on Tuesday, June the 10th. It's a 12-cent dividend. It's a $25 stock. I like this play for a quick buy right. You actually has decent options. So you can buy 100 shares, you could sell a covered call, and you could double up on the dividend. If you don't know how to set these up, if you want more information, you should hop over to goodkidstrading.com. Right here on the screen, goodkidstrading.com. You go to the join page. You type in your email address, first name, last name. I'm not going to spam you. I'm giving you free access to my Discord. I am sharing my trades in real time with you, not so you can follow me, but so you can understand some of the trades that I am putting on. Coca-Cola. Everybody knows this stock. This is one of Warren Buffett's favorite stocks because it pays a dividend. The dividend is coming up on Friday. Once again, trading sideways. I like the sideways motion. We got a 71 stock, a 51-cent dividend on Friday. What if you bought 100 shares of Coca-Cola, KO, and you sold a covered call? You double up on the dividend. That's going to be my play this week. Crown Castle. This is a high yielding dividend stock. And the reason it's high yielding is I guess the growth is not as good. You can see they kind of missed the last 2 quarters. They're bouncing around. We do have the 100 weekly moving average trying to hold this up. Dividends on Friday as well. A $1 dividend for a $100 stock. Can't beat that. This also has options. You should consider a buy right. Let's hop in and look at a couple of really cool examples. Church and Dwight. Really boring company. What happens if you buy it off the 200 weekly moving average? What happens if you sell it at the 100? I know what happens because that's exactly what I did in the Discord. Sometimes it makes sense to just buy good quality companies off of red lines. I know it didn't quite touch the red line back in 23, but if you picked up some right here, it actually did on October 30th. If you bought it here at 83, could you have sold it at the purple line that I've had on my chart for how long? Why did I have this purple line on my chart? Because it was resistance back in 22. So you could have sold it at 100 after buying it at 85. Illinois Toolworks, another really good dividend stock. I know it doesn't have a dividend till the end of June. This is starting to look pretty nice. We're getting some closes above the moving averages. How would you play it? I know you already know, but let's set it up really quickly. I would actually look for it to get a little bit more of a breakout. I'm not really in a hurry to buy a $250 stock. I would look for kind of a play like this. I think this is a perfect play if we can get an actual close above these 2 weeks back in May. Illinois Toolworks could break out and you could collect a little bit of a dividend of $1.50 per share. That's 10 stocks I'm looking at. You should head over to Good Kids Trading. If you want to look at 7 patterns that I think all math-based traders can't ignore, you should head over, type in 7 patterns in the search window and read this blog. I'll catch you soon. I hope you take some of these trades. If you do, let me know.